For today's video, we're going to be making a honey jar with a lid. I usually make these on 6-inch plastic bats, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to try to just make it directly on the wheel head, and then we'll torch it and make a lid, torch that also, and try to make everything in one go. This is the standard 112 speckled brown stoneware. We've got 1 pound, 6 ounces for the body, and then the lid's going to be around 7 ounces of clay. Never made these directly on the wheel head without a bat, so we'll see how it goes. Just want to get this centered up nicely. There's a lot of different ways you can make jars with lids, but this is the way I was taught years ago. It's just a really simple, quick and easy way to make a jar with a lid. Now when you're throwing these, you want to keep a fairly thick rim because you have to leave enough clay there in order to make a gallery for your lid to sit on. Probably do one last pull to get the general shape, leaving that thick rim. I like to collar it in a little bit because when you go to make the lid, it's going to flare out the top just a little bit. Then we'll take the triangle tool, clean up the base. Then a metal rib off the exterior, and kind of refine your shape a little. Now to make the gallery, I use one of these wooden thumb tools, and just want to kind of make a little rim for your lid to sit on. There's a lot of different ways you can make these. You can use a credit card or really whatever you've got in order to flatten that out. Then I'll take the needle tool, clean that up. Then I'll take the chamois cloth, smooth that up, and kind of deepen the well for the lid to sit on. I just do that with my fingernail, my index finger. Leave a nice spot for a lid to sit on. That'll work. Then you take your calipers, you're going to measure the width you need. Right there is good. Tighten that down. And then now I'm going to torch it so that I can get it off the wheel without distorting the shape. I'm going to need to torch it pretty heavily so that we can go directly into making a lid. Grab the wire. And we'll set the pot to the side. I use a map gun torch. You can buy those at Lowe's or probably Amazon. Use that thing all the time. That's how I make all my mugs. That way you can throw them directly on the wheel head, get them off. Speeds up the process. This is the lid. This is 7 ounces of clay. It's kind of difficult to center just because it's small and it's kind of hard to wrap your hands around, but you just want to comb that up as best you can. Get that centered. Then I take this part of my hand here. I want to make sure that's good and wet so that it doesn't drag and tear clay off like that right there. Just want to leave a lump of clay in the center so we can make a knob. Just don't want it to get too squirrely because then it's easier for it to tear off. Then you want to kind of get some width to it. Then we'll get a measurement on that. Need some more width. I like to take the other end of the thumb tool, kind of undercut that, and then you can get your rim. Smooth that up, and then just flatten it out to the width you want. With making these lids, you just gotta measure, re-measure until you get the right width. That's pretty much where I want it. So now we'll go in and shape our knob. I like to do a little well in the knob. Just like the look of that and how it feels. Widen that out just a little bit. Smooth it up, then we'll get one more measurement of that. That's spot on. So now I'll torch this off just to get it firm enough to get it off the wheel without distorting the shape, and then we'll put it back on the honey pot. Alright, now we'll wire that off and set it to the side. Now I like to take the Giffen grip. We'll bring back the jar. Kind of trim up the base of that a little bit. Giffen grip is very handy for this. Just make that shape look a little nicer. Doesn't require a whole lot of trimming. It's mainly just refining the shape a little. I like to go with a finger, smooth that up. Go ahead and stamp the bottom. And then we'll flip this bad boy over. Still a little wet. See, it's on the stick there. Smooth that up. Then we'll put it back on. Right side up. Get this to center. Make sure that's nice and smooth. Also want to make sure it's good and centered. That'll work. Just want to see what make sure our width's good. It is. We just gotta get some of this thickness out of the lid here. So we'll take this and trim this down some. Just got to take some of this extra clay out so that it fits nicely down in there. Now I'm afraid they're going to be slightly too wet to get this out, so I'll let this sit for a couple hours until it's firm enough to get this out. Yeah, it's not going to want to come out. Anyways, let that firm up and we'll flip it over. Let it dry all together. And then you'll have a nice honey pot with a lid. Now I'll try the lid back on and it fits pretty nicely. So now what I like to do is take this loop tool here. Just like to cut away a bit like that right there. That way and I'll sand that down once it gets good and dry. That way you've got a little spot for your honey stick or spoon to fit in there. And that's a honey pot. Thank you for watching.